The spotlight burned like a lover's gaze, pinning Mia Reynolds to the scarred wooden floor of the soundstage, her heart slamming against her ribs as Elena's whisper cut through the scripted lines. "If you leave me now, you'll take my soul with you." It wasn't acting. Mia's breath caught, real tears stinging her eyes, because in that frozen moment, with the crew's shadows looming like silent judges, she knew she wasn't pretending anymore. She was falling, hard and irrevocable, into the green depths of Elena Vasquez's eyes, right there under the relentless hum of the lights in the heart of Los Angeles. Mia had arrived in Hollywood 6 months earlier, a wide-eyed 22-year-old from the sleepy suburbs of Seattle, clutching a one-way ticket and a dog-eared headshot that screamed, "Undiscovered talent." The city had swallowed her whole at first, its smog-choked sunsets and audition rooms that reeked of desperation and cheap coffee. But then came Echoes of the Heart, a gritty indie drama about two women entangled in a web of secrets during the 1950s jazz era. It was her first real break, a role that demanded vulnerability she hadn't known she possessed. And Elena? Elena was the sun around which the entire production orbited, a 25-year-old Mexican-American firebrand who'd clawed her way from telenovela bit parts to Sundance whispers, her presence as commanding off-screen as on. From day one, Mia felt it, that electric pull like static before a storm. Their first scene together was a simple glance across a smoky speakeasy set, but Elena lingered in the frame, her dark curls framing a face that could shift from fierce to fragile in a heartbeat. "Breathe into it, Mia," Elena murmured after the director yelled cut, her hand brushing Mia's arm just long enough to send sparks skittering up her spine. "Let the fear show. It's what makes us human." Mia nodded, cheeks flushing, wondering if Elena could hear the thunder in her chest. That night, alone in her cramped Echo Park apartment, Mia replayed the touch on loop, her fingers tracing the ghost of it against her skin, the city's distant wail of sirens underscoring the ache blooming in her core. Rehearsals blurred into a haze of late nights and shared secrets. The set was a labyrinth of false walls and forgotten props in a sprawling warehouse off Sunset Boulevard, where the air hummed with the scent of fog machines and fresh paint. Mia and Elena's characters, Lila and Sophia, were mirrors of their own hidden longings, two women bound by a clandestine affair in an era that branded such love as sin. But as they ran lines in the dim corners of the wardrobe trailer, the boundaries dissolved. Sophia wouldn't hesitate, Elena said one evening, her voice low as she pinned Mia against the mirror for a blocking run-through, their bodies inches apart, breaths mingling like forbidden smoke. Mia's pulse raced. She could smell the jasmine of Elena's shampoo, feel the warmth radiating from her skin. "She'd kiss you right here. Damn the consequences." Mia's laugh was shaky, a deflection. "And what about you? Would you?" The words slipped out before she could cage them, hanging in the air like a dare. Elena's eyes darkened, a flicker of something raw passing through them. Hesitation? Desire? She stepped back, breaking the spell with a soft chuckle. "Method acting's a bitch, isn't it? Gets under your skin." But as Elena turned away to adjust her blouse, Mia caught the slight tremor in her fingers, the way her gaze darted to the trailer door as if expecting interruption. It fueled the fire in Mia's belly, a mix of hope and terror that this wasn't just lines on a page. Word count crept toward midnight on those endless shoots, the crew thinning out until it was just them, huddled over lukewarm takeout in the craft services tent. Elena opened up in fragments, stories of her abuela's border-crossing tales, the weight of being the family's golden child in East LA, the auditions where she'd been told her accent was too ethnic for the girl next door. Mia shared her own scars, the conservative parents who'd shipped her off to drama camp to straighten her out, the first fumbling kiss with a girl at 16 that had left her both liberated and lost. "I get it," Elena said, her foot nudging Mia's under the table, a casual anchor that felt anything but. "This world's a machine, chewing up dreamers like us. But here, with you, it feels possible." The intimacy built like a slow burn, scene by scene. Their first real kiss on camera was choreographed chaos, Rain machines pelting the alley set, thunder rumbling from hidden speakers, Lila pulling Sophia into a desperate embrace as thunder cracked overhead. Action, the director barked, and Mia dove in, her lips crashing against Elena's with a hunger that blurred fiction and truth. Elena responded in kind, her hands fisting in Mia's wet blouse, a soft moan escaping that the microphones caught like a secret. When they broke apart, gasping, the crew erupted in applause, but Mia saw only Elena's flushed cheeks, the way her tongue darted out to taste the lingering rain, or was it salt from unshed tears? Offset, the flirtation danced on a knife's edge. Elena would text Mia at 3 a.m., can't sleep. Replay that take in your head, and Mia would respond with heart emojis she immediately regretted, her thumbs hovering over delete. They'd sneak away to the studio roof during breaks, overlooking the glittering sprawl of LA, sharing a stolen cigarette despite Elena's quit attempts. "Your trouble, Reynolds," Elena teased one night, exhaling smoke toward the stars, her shoulder brushing Mia's, making me question everything. Mia's heart soared, interpreting the words as confession, even as doubt whispered that it might just be the role talking. But the set wasn't all stolen glances and whispered promises. Tension simmered beneath the glamour, budget overruns pushing shoots into dawn, the producer's leering gaze on the hot lesbian scenes, whispers among the grips about Elena's diva moments. Mia overheard fragments. "Vasquez thinks she's too good for this indie shit," or "heard she's dating that agent guy, cover for the tabloids." She brushed them off, clinging to the moments that felt real, like when Elena defended her during a brutal note session, snapping at the AD. "Lay off her. She's carrying this film on her back." The protectiveness stirred something deep in Mia, a longing for the kind of love that didn't hide in shadows. As principal photography hit the halfway mark, the air thickened with unspoken electricity. One sweltering afternoon, after a grueling dance sequence in the speakeasy set, bodies slick with sweat, skirts hiked for the Charleston, Mia collapsed onto a prop couch, fanning herself with a script. Elena joined her, unbuttoning the top of her blouse with a sigh, revealing the curve of her collarbone glistening under the lights. "God, I need a drink," she groaned, leaning back, her thigh pressing against Mia's. The contact was innocent accidental, or was it? Mia's mouth went dry, her gaze tracing the line of Elena's neck, imagining her lips there instead of the director's mark. "Tequila?" Mia ventured, voice husky. Elena's laugh was throaty, inviting. "Only if you're buying, Carino." The endearment hung between them, Spanish rolling off her tongue like honey. Before Mia could respond, the PA called them back, but the seed was planted. That evening, after rap, Elena cornered her in the parking lot, the sodium glow of street lamps casting long shadows over the lot. "Hey, you up for grabbing that drink?" "My place. It's closer than yours, and I've got better booze." Mia's yes was breathless, her mind racing with possibilities as she followed Elena's vintage Mustang through the neon-veined streets of Silver Lake. Elena's bungalow was a revelation. Adobe walls draped in fairy lights, shelves groaning with dog-eared scripts and jazz records, the faint scent of sage lingering from a recent smudging. They settled on the patio with salt-rimmed glasses, the city lights twinkling like distant fireflies below. Conversation flowed easy at first, gossip about co-stars, dreams of red carpets, but as the tequila warmed their veins, it deepened. "You know why I took this role?" Elena confessed, swirling her glass, eyes fixed on the horizon. "Because Sophia. She's me. Hiding, always hiding. Loving in the dark." Mia's hand found hers across the table. Tentative, then sure. "You don't have to hide with me." Elena's fingers intertwined with hers, a silent vow, but her smile faltered, shadows creeping into her expression. "It's not that simple, Mia. This town, my family, they expect things." The words landed like stones in still water, rippling through Mia's certainty. She squeezed Elena's hand tighter, willing the doubt away. "Then let's make it simple. Just us here, now." Leaning in, Mia closed the distance, her lips brushing Elena's in a kiss that tasted of lime and longing. Elena froze for a heartbeat, then melted, her free hand cupping Mia's face as the world narrowed to the press of mouths, the soft hitch of breath. It was tentative, exploratory, then fervent, a dam breaking after too long held back. They pulled apart, foreheads touching, laughter bubbling up through the haze. "Okay," Elena whispered, tracing Mia's jaw with her thumb. "Just us." They tumbled inside, the night unfolding in a tangle of limbs and whispered confessions on rumpled sheets that smelled of lavender and possibility. Mia traced the constellation of freckles across Elena's shoulders, memorizing the way she arched under her touch, the gasps that turned to pleas. It was messy, real, fingers fumbling with buttons, knees knocking, but laced with a tenderness that made Mia's chest ache. For the first time, love didn't feel like a script, it felt like home. Dawn crept in with regrets unspoken. Elena stirred first, pressing a kiss to Mia's temple before slipping into the kitchen for coffee. Mia watched her from the bed, heart full, plotting a future of quiet mornings like this. But as she dressed, Elena's phone buzzed on the nightstand, a text from an unknown number. "Lunch today? Miss you, babe." Mia's stomach twisted, but she shoved it down, chalking it up to a co-star or friend. When Elena returned with steaming mugs, her smile was radiant, chasing shadows away. "Last night was everything," she said, pulling Mia close. "Don't let the set ruin it." Back on location the next day, a sun-baked motel exterior doubling as a lover's hideaway, the chemistry crackled like live wire. Their scene was raw, Sophia bandaging Lila's wounds after a bar fight, hands trembling with unspoken fear of loss. "I can't lose you," Elena's character breathed, and as she wrapped the gauze, her real fingers lingered on Mia's skin, echoing the night before. The director called it a wrap early, praising their palpable heat, but Mia caught the side eyes from the crew, the murmurs that followed them to the trailers. That vulnerability fueled Mia's fire, but it also ignited insecurities. Elena grew distant in flashes, snapping at a lighting tech one afternoon, her eyes glazing over during lunch breaks as she scrolled her phone. "Just agent stuff," she'd say with a forced grin, but Mia saw the strain, the way her laugh rang hollow. One evening, after a particularly brutal 12-hour day, Mia confronted her in the makeup chair, the mirror reflecting their weary faces. "Talk to me, Elena. What's eating you?" Elena sighed, capping her lipstick with deliberate care. "It's nothing. Pressure from home. My mom's visiting next week, wants to meet the guy everyone's buzzing about in the family chat." The words hit like a slap. "The guy?" Mia echoed, pulse thundering. Elena winced, reaching for her hand. "It's bullshit, Mia. A rumor my publicist started to throw off the paps. You know how it is, keep the straights happy." Relief flooded Mia, mingled with a sharp pang of understanding. Elena's world was a minefield, every step calculated to avoid explosion. "I get it," Mia said softly, though the lie tasted bitter. "But with me? No rumors. Just truth." Elena's kiss was fierce then, a promise sealed in the fluorescent glow, but as they parted, Mia wondered how long truths could stay buried before they clawed their way out. The weeks blurred into a fevered dream of stolen touches and mounting stakes. Echoes wrapped its intimate scenes in a frenzy, the director pushing for more edge, more risk in every take. Mia and Elena delivered, their on-screen passion bleeding into reality. Late-night script revisions that devolved into make-out sessions on the prop bed, shared rides home where hands wandered under the dashboard. Mia's apartment became their sanctuary, walls papered with Polaroids of goofy set moments, the air thick with the scent of Elena's perfume and takeout Thai. But cracks spiderwebbed through the idyll. Elena's phone calls increased, sharp Spanish exchanges that ended with her pacing, voice laced with frustration. Family drama, she'd dismiss, but Mia pieced together fragments. Expectations of marriage, a cousin's wedding looming, whispers of settling down with someone suitable. One night, After a particularly heated argument Elena took in the hallway, Mia pressed her against the door, desperation fueling her kiss. "Stay with me," she murmured against Elena's neck. "We can face it together." Elena held her tight, but her eyes were distant stars, unreachable. "I want to, Mia. God, I do. But it's not just us anymore." The premiere loomed like a guillotine, post-production ramping up the hype with trailers teasing their scorching chemistry. Invites poured in, industry parties where Elena shone like a comet, Mia trailing in her wake, feeling both exalted and exposed. At a rooftop mixer overlooking the Hollywood sign, Elena introduced her as my incredible scene partner, the words of Velvet Knife. Mia smiled through gritted teeth, nursing a gin and tonic as Elena charmed a circle of execs, her hand occasionally grazing Mia's back, a public tether that felt like chains. Doubt festered in the quiet hours. Mia replayed their nights, searching for signs of retreat. The way Elena flinched at overt displays of affection on set, the locked screen she turned away during pillow talk. Was it all performance? A method bleed for the role? The questions gnawed, but love, fierce, foolish, silenced them. Until the wrap party, a raucous affair in a downtown loft pulsing with bass and ambition. Mia arrived late, scanning the crowd for Elena's dark head amid the throng of flushed faces and clinking glasses. She found her in a shadowed corner, laughing with the producer, a silver-haired shark in a bespoke suit, and a cluster of assistants. Mia approached, heart-lifting, but froze at the edge of the group, words slicing through the din like shrapnel. "Vasquez, you sly fox," the producer slurred, clapping Elena's shoulder. "That chemistry with the kid? Gold. But offset? Keep it professional, your fiancé wouldn't approve." Elena's laugh tinkled like breaking glass. "Javier? Please, it's all PR smoke. He knows the score. Gets me the gigs without the questions." The assistant leaned in, voice oily. "Smart. But words out you're playing for keeps with that fresh meat. Careful, or the tabloids'll eat you alive. Lesbo rumors could tank your rom-com offers." Mia's world tilted, blood roaring in her ears. Elena's response was a murmur, lost in the laughter, but the casual dismissal, "It's just the role, guys. Harmless fun," landed like a gut punch. Harmless fun. The words echoed as Mia backed away, the party's roar muffling to a dull hum. She stumbled into the night air, the city lights blurring through hot tears, the betrayal coiling like venom in her veins. The drive home was a blur of red taillights and choking sobs, Mia's hands white-knuckled on the wheel. How could she have been so blind? The touches, the whispers, all a game, a ladder rung for Elena's ascent. By the time she collapsed onto her bed, the sheets still scented with jasmine, rage warred with heartbreak. She fired off a text, "We need to talk now," then deleted it, curling into a ball as dawn painted the room in cruel pink. Elena showed up at noon, pounding on the door with pleas that twisted the knife deeper. "Mia, open up. Please." When Mia finally did, her face was a mask of fury, arms crossed like armor. "Heard enough last night," she spat, voice cracking. "Harmless fun? That's what I was." Elena's eyes widened, color draining from her face. "You misunderstood." "Save it." Mia stepped back, the space between them a chasm. "I overheard everything. The fiancé, the rumors, how it's all just acting." Elena surged forward, hands outstretched. "Javier's a beard, Mia. A cover my family forced after my last scandal. A girl from drama school. The producer? He's an ass. I laugh it off to keep the peace. But you? God, you're not fun. You're real." Tears tracked down her cheeks, raw and unfiltered. "I was scared, terrified of losing us, before it even started." Mia wanted to believe, but the wounds ran deep. Then why hide? Why let them talk like I'm some fling? Elena sank onto the couch, head in hands. "Because I'm a coward. 25 years of code switching, of smiling for the cameras while my heart screams. My mom's flying in tomorrow. She'll disown me if she knows. But losing you? That's worse. The confession hung heavy, Elena's vulnerability stripping away the starlit sheen. Mia knelt before her, anger fracturing into ache. Then don't lose me. Fight for us. No more shadows. They clung together then, sobs mingling as the truth poured out. Elena's closeted youth in a devout household, the industry whispers that could blacklist her, the love that had terrified her into silence. Mia shared her own fears. The girl from Seattle who'd run to LA chasing acceptance, only to find it in Elena's arms. We're worth the risk, Mia whispered, sealing it with a kiss that tasted of salt and second chances. The days that followed were a delicate dance, Elena's mom arriving with suitcases and suspicions, the loft filling with the aroma of tamales and tense silences. Mia met her under the guise of co-star, but Elena's hand found hers under the table, a defiant anchor. At the family dinner, as stories of abuelas and boarders wove through the air, Elena's voice steadied. Mommy, there's someone I need to tell you about. Not Javier.
Mia.
The room stilled, her mother's fork pausing midair, eyes wide, then softening with a sigh that carried decades of hidden pains.
Mi niña.
I knew. Your eyes, they shine different with her. Tears flowed, embraces followed, forgiveness not instant, but a bridge built in whispers and shared moles. Echoes premiered to thunderous acclaim, the theater on Hollywood Boulevard alive with flashes and fervor. Mia and Elena walked the carpet hand in hand, no pretense, their gowns flowing like rivers of silk, red for Mia's fire, emerald for Elena's depths. Critics raved of their electrifying authenticity, but the real magic unfolded off-screen, a quiet life carved from chaos, auditions traded for mornings in bed, LA's sprawl their canvas. Years later, with Oscars on mantles and a bungalow expanded for dreams unspoken, Mia would trace Elena's laugh lines and marvel at the girl who dared to love in the light. It wasn't perfect, no love was, but in the Klieg lights of their shared story, they found grace, the power of voices raised against silence, hearts mended in the wreckage of doubt. Love, it turned out, wasn't a set piece. It was the courage to rewrite the ending, together.